Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to another edition of Audiomack Live, the official Afrobeats Podcast, where we break down the hottest topics every single week alongside my celebrity guest in the building. If you're just joining me for the first time, where have you been? But if you're not, thank you very much for returning. Make sure you subscribe, you like, you comment, you share. We appreciate it. It makes us make more videos and keeps us engaged and enthusiastic about making these type of videos, doesn't it?
For sure.
Absolutely. Well, as always, you can catch us every single week across all platforms. That's Apple, YouTube, Spotify, Soundcloud. Make sure you subscribe wherever you get the podcast. And we're also on Yanga TV as well, every Monday and every Saturday, and a repeat on Monday here in the UK. Now, join me in the studio once again to break down this week's hot stories is the delightful, incredible Amapiano superhero. It's Norma.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me
Of
again.
the Dreams and Money podcast.
Yes,
We have to add that to it,
sir.
as always. It's a pleasure to have you in the studio, as always. We love
Pleasure to always be here.
We
I
love your
it
comments.
here.
You know, we love what you bring to the table. And it just so happens that every time when you're coming in, there's always some kind of controversial story that.
And I love it. I love it. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, so thank you very much.
Here to
Now,
shake up the tables a little bit.
exactly. Now, looking at some of the headlines that we'll be talking about this week, will be Burnaboy winning the third BET award in a row in the United States of America. Diamond Platinumz outfit to the BET Awards. And, of course, Diamond Platinumz as well hanging out with the likes of Sweet Beats. Sad news coming out of Nigeria where DavIdo and DMW affiliate shockingly passes away. And UK singer Raye crying out on social media about not being allowed to release her album and a lot more. Now, before we get into the headline, we'd like to speak about a collaboration with Shoobs.com. Shoobs is the leading discovery hub for Black culture experiences, bringing you the latest events, music, and news. Now, with Shoobs, you can discover and buy tickets to the best events happening in your city to satisfy your every need. If you're on the hunt for bottomless brunches, the latest Afrobeats concert, or just a banging night out, Shoobs has got you covered. Shoobs is at the center of all experiences, whether you're an event organizer looking to sell out your event or looking for the perfect event to attend. Visit Shoobs.com now and get Shoobs in. Now, kicking off, we're going to start in Nigeria, where the sad and shocking news that DavIdo affiliate and DMW stalwart Obama sadly passed away during the week. Reports were that the popular personality had difficulties breathing after a studio session and was taken to a private hospital where his condition got worse and he passed away a few hours later. This news is not only heartbreak for his family and close friends, but the inner circle of the young superstar DavIdo, who has in recent years dealt with losses to the team, with extremely close affiliates passing away, with the last being his trusted bodyguard of over 10 years, just a few months ago in TJ. Now, social media has been covered with images of Obama with personal messages from industry colleagues, including Tiwa Savage, whose message was emotional and touching at the same time. Due to Obama being a Muslim, he was buried the following day, with reports DavIdo wasn't in the country at the time and couldn't attend his beloved affiliate's rites. We at Afrobeats Podcast send our sincere condolences to the entire DMW crew and, of course, the close family and friends of the industry giant. Norma, no matter if you were living under a rock this last couple of days, you would have heard the sad and shocking news of the passing of the young man who was heavily linked to DavIdo, was involved with the music. The record label DMW was a close confidant of the young superstar who, like I said, had dealt with other losses in the past couple of years. You know, what are your thoughts about what's just happened? And yeah.
Man, I just feel like 2020 and 2021 continue to be heavy, especially when it comes to loss, and even just beyond COVID. Just people were just, it's sad. My prayers go out to his family as well as DavIdo and the rest of their team. I just hope that, you know, like somehow through this time they're able to find strength, and I can't even imagine like what they're going through.
Exactly.
As well as DavIdo losing him, and like you said, other people.
He's lost a couple of close people over the last 4 or 5 years. His personal DJ and one of his best friends passed away about 4 years ago, and then another friend passed away, and then about last year, and and then this, and to a young man, I just wonder every time.
Difficult. Like, he's in his late 20s?
Yes, he's in his late 20s.
So he's still very, very, very young. Yeah. And I feel like so many of us don't know how to deal with death and grief.
Absolutely.
And just going through that process. So to go through it several times in such a short space of time must be very difficult for him.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately for him, he's not in a space where he can really take the time out to grieve each person, because it's like the next thing you have to keep going, whether you've got a concert, whether you've got music coming out, whether you need to do promo. It's not like you can just be like, guys, I want to take some time
It's
out.
always like you have to just, because of the career that you're in, you almost have to just instantly deal with that and get out. And that might be difficult. We saw Tiwa Savage's message as well, which was very emotional and touching. This is where we talk about mental health and getting the right type of support to deal with these type of disappointments and heartbreaks.
Yeah.
And I think it's now time that we start to normalize this sort of conversation, especially in Africa.
Yeah, absolutely.
It wouldn't be too much if the likes of David could give someone a call and just go and sit down and speak to a specialist, because this is hard.
And I feel like with death, it's it's the kind of heartbreak you never get over. It gets better. The pain kind of not necessarily lessens, but it gets less intense. However, you just never get over it.
Because it's a space, especially if it's somebody that was close to someone, like it's a space that would never be refilled,
and especially if you've got like a close circle. I can imagine as a celebrity, you can't trust everybody.
Yeah.
So when you love people and you let them into that close circle, they are your colleagues, they're your friends, they're your, like your brothers, your sisters. So you hold them close. So I can't really imagine like the pain that he's going through.
And apparently they were together up until the morning when David got on a flight and went to Atlanta or whatever. Allegedly, that's what we're hearing.
Wow.
And the next thing, by the time his flight would have touched down in Atlanta, the person that was with him a couple of hours ago had sadly passed away.
Isn't that so crazy how like you just said, you can be with somebody 1 minute and then the next minute they're gone. So again, just goes to show, like, when you're with your people, enjoy them. Like, generally just enjoy them and take them in people. And, embrace them and love on them and just cherish the moments that you have with them. So, yeah.
Exactly. That was one of the things I said, that it's time that we celebrate each other. You love who you want to love. Enjoy people that you want to be with. Share your energy with the right people that you choose to share your energy with. Yes, this is the time, because now nobody knows what tomorrow is going to bring. And, shocking news like that. Once again, condolences to the entire camp and the family. Now, moving on to some good news as we move over to the United States of America, where this past week saw the record-breaking Burnaboy pick up his third BET award in a row in the category of the Best International Act, beating the likes of Wizkid and Diamond Platinumz to the award. Now, Burna this time was able to pick up the award alongside his beautiful mom, and this time he gave a speech ultimately teaching the audience a little response, how una dey, in Nigerian pidgin. The star, who had earlier been seen meeting Diddy for the first time, seeing Diddy for the first time, was seen returning to the United States of America, and also returning to Diddy's house after he had picked up the award to celebrate, with P. Diddy. Now, first of all, huge congratulations to Burnaboy picking up the BET award for the third year in a row. If you remember, the first time he picked it up, he wasn't in the audience. He had gone to get a drink or a smoke or whatever, and his mom had to give an incredible speech. And then last year was the pandemic, so it was virtual. What were your thoughts about him doing the three-peat, picking it up 3 years in a row? Please be controversial. Oh, please! I already had back and forth with a close colleague of mine today. Actually, we got on the phone, and he wasn't with it. Obviously, I was on the other side, and I can sense a little apprehension. Let me hear.
No, it's not that I'm against it.
Yeah.
I'm all for Burnaboy, Team Burnaboy, right? However, I'm just like, wasn't he in the category with Wizkid?
Yes.
I feel like sometimes when someone's on fire and, you know, they've got everything going, you know, the world is loving them, the love is world in their sound, and we're generally on heat for this one person. We tend to almost not necessarily erase, but we want to ignore other people and what they've got going on and act as if what they have going on is not as big as, for instance, Burna Boy. So I just feel like we have to give equal opportunity. Not to say that the other people deserved it any more
Than him.
but
Okay.
I just feel like sometimes we tend to ignore.
First of all,
others.
I also think that Diamond Platinumz has to be mentioned. Now, this is somebody that's deserving of an international award when it comes to, you know, recognizing African talents that has gone above and beyond and made a statement within the creative industry. Without a doubt, he deserves a shout. But when you're looking from the side of the BET, like I explained to my colleague today, they're looking at a Burna Boy that had an African Giant in 2019, completely shut down the entire world, got into 2020, was about to go crazy with his African Giant tour, then the pandemic hit. He dropped the second album. Fast forward to 2021, the second album just picked up a Grammy Award, continues to chart. Yes, that's how they're looking at it.
Yeah,
you know,
I get it.
So it continues to chart around the world. You know, he gets to the United States of America, where the BET Award is taking place in about 48 hours time, and the biggest black entertainer puts out a video where he's welcoming Burna Boy at the steps of his house, hugging him and loving on him.
Loving on him.
Yes.
For sure.
All of these things, whether was planned or not, they influence other people.
No, they do.
They
do.
The numbers are there to back it up.
Yeah.
His success over the last 3 years is there to back it up. Then he's got the right big bagging, not only with the record label, Atlantic, in the close circle, they would say they've done their job.
Yeah, I guess maybe I wasn't looking at it from the American perspective,
That's
because
it.
obviously they not necessarily value him more than the other artists, but it's just that obviously he's been
there.
on fire a little bit more.
And then he's promoted himself in America.
His presence has been huge in America, so they definitely looking at it from an American perspective and not the UK or the African.
No,
so I completely get it. I completely get it.
And they're looking at the African as well. You know, they know that his impact on Africa over the last consistency for the last 4 years.
Yeah, and
whether
of course the Grammy win too. The Grammy win too, definitely.
Then he's been nominated for a Grammy 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
So
you know, fair enough.
Yeah.
I'll give it to him.
However, I do agree that Wiz's current album, you know, in my opinion, is a classic album.
Yeah.
And the album has continued to make incredible strides internationally without Wiz physically being present, pushing the album. You have to also remember that a lot of people forget this part, that award organizations is a butt-kissing exercise.
Oh, speak on it.
Do you understand what I mean?
That is, it's not just as easy as who's popular, who's got the biggest numbers.
So it's going to be who's popular, who's got the biggest numbers, and whose team is ready to do the politics that involve.
Oh, for sure.
Promoting yourself on an international level with being on the Jimmy Fallons, the NBCs, the Today shows and stuff. Those are huge budgets. It is a political campaign.
Oh, it really is. It's kind of, I don't know if you remember when, I think, was it Cardi B when she won? It was either Album of the Year or
Album
something.
of the Year.
And everyone was like, what?
Yeah, but Atlantic
Are we talking about the same hip-hop? Or when, what's his name? The American rapper, he's white. He won Album of the Year.
Yeah. The guy that did Thrift Shop. And then he said Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah. And it was like...
But you have to.
You gave it to him when there's Kendrick, the Lamar, the GOAT, and you gave it to this man.
But it's
that just popped up.
It's all about the politics. You're going to do everything. You're going to have the popularity.
Yeah.
You're going to have the numbers. Then your team must be ready. Your label must be ready to do the politics that has to happen. Now, fast forward to now. First of all, what are your thoughts about, the budding relationship between Burna Boy and P. Diddy, and how the genuine love on social media has been?
I love it. I love the fact that they're showing more love to African artists and giving them the respects and the accolades that they deserve. And I feel like it just continues to push the culture.
Facts.
As we have people over here that push the culture in the UK. So, for instance, like yourself, I feel like we need representatives in America to push the culture over there and get everyone else onto what's happening in Africa and the sounds that are coming out of Africa. So I think it's important and it's needed to have those representatives or the ambassadors or the fans that are influencers in America to continue to push it to a wider audience and to new ears that don't know that we've got a sick sound happening over here.
It's very interesting that you mention ambassadors and stuff like that. Now, staying in the USA, where Tanzanian superstar Diamond Platinumz is currently putting finishing touches to his highly anticipated album. The singer, who was dressed in traditional Swahili attire for the BET Awards, has been seen talking to Alicia Keys on FaceTime, hanging with Swiss Beats and Busta Rhymes and producer Hitmaker in the studio. It looks like Diamond, who just recently signed to Warner Music, is setting his sights on an international domination, with Busta Rhymes calling him the King of Africa and African Michael Jackson. Now, speaking about influential affiliates, Diamond Platinumz teaming up with Swiss Beats, executive producing or having a hand in his album. He's in the studio with Hitmaker. He's in the studio with Busta Rhymes. He's in the studio.
I love it.
Exactly.
I love it. And also I love it because it's
say it, man. Let's go.
I love it because I'm gonna say it with my chest. I love it because it's not Burna Boy, it's not DavIdo,
Nigerian artist,
and it's not Wizkid.
Facts.
Not necessarily to do with them being Nigerian, but because they have been the
consistently pushing at that level.
Yeah, they're being pushed at that level and being supported, right? So I feel like we need other people, minus those three Afrobeats, I guess, giants, to push the rest of the culture, because we can't just have those three carrying the flag forever.
Absolutely.
So, we need people like Diamond Platinum, to Sarkodie, to Yemi Alade, to just everybody else that has been doing Afrobeats, to Afro House, to anything else, to like African rap. So I feel like it's very important to have that support for other people. I agree with you. I think it's about time where people are aligning with their own favorites. I saw Angelique Kidjo's documentary promo coming out, and in there was Yemi Alade being interviewed, and she was talking about her relationship with Angelique Kidjo. Oh, I love it.
That type of situation I watched an interview with Ed Sheeran today on Lauren Kelly, and he was speaking about mentoring up and coming artists, and they asked him how easy it was to do it. He said, because I was signed to a management company owned by a little known man called Elton John. And I thought to myself, now we're talking. So when you see Ed Sheeran in certain rooms moving around and shaking and doing certain things, he's managed by Elton John. Yeah. One of the greatest musicians to walk the face of this earth. He's been tutored, he's been put on the right path by someone who's done it for at least 50 years. Yeah. That's what we need to start doing. Oh, and to see Swiss Beats with Diamond Platinumz, Busta Rhymes, and to see Diddy and
Diddy kind of like endorsing it,
Diddy's
pushing
love
it.
for Burna, I love that. Yeah, and I like the way Burna's responding to him as well. I love that. I saw Burna Boy in the studio with Scott Storch. That's going to be a sick collaboration.
He's a legend. He's actually a legend. Yes.
What did you think about Diamond Platinum's outfit to the BET Awards?
I loved it. Do you know what, right? Let me say this. There is nothing sexier than an African man in African attire. Gets the people going, I'll tell you that for free, right? But, like, you know when you see, let's say, like a Nigerian man in is it Agbada, you see a South African in Amabeju.
He was like in a rap. He had his shield.
Exactly.
He had, you know,
like it's like the traditional kind of Maasai
yes,
attire.
Yes.
That it looks beautiful. See the way his arms were popping out of the reds and the jewelry and everything. I said, yes, this is what I love to see. I mean, a 3-piece suit is great. We love it. Yeah. But
you're representing. You're flying the flag for an entire nation of people, and the smile that you put on their faces for seeing you represent like that
on a huge platform,
on a huge stage.
I absolutely respected it, and I loved it because, again, like you're saying, just showing appreciation for your culture and showing it off in like being like, guys, look how beautiful we have in Africa. And
another thing, because of his background, the amount of money he has, the style he comes up with, we all know via his 10 million or 12 million Instagram followers that he's got it. He can wear a suit. He could do whatever. But the fact that he chose that moment to dress the way he did, and it's the entertainment business, it's your show business, where you're supposed to catch attention with everything you do. Walking on the red carpet dressed like that, I don't care who you are, be you President Barack Obama, Joe Biden or whatever, you're going to say, who's this brother?
Yeah, and he was trending on Twitter.
Facts.
Which again, PR. I love that for you.
That's me.
But again, just the appreciation for the culture. And I feel like the fact that it was at the BT Awards where majority of the audience and majority of the attendees are African-American makes it even more special because it's like showcasing this is where you come from. This is what we wear. And, just showing the diversity across Africa that we all don't wear the same thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so from, like I said earlier, from the Nigerians to the Ghanaians and their kente cloth and how beautiful that looks to South Africans, to the Zimbabweans. And it's just that diversity that we have is beautiful. So I feel like we definitely need to show it off a little bit more. And I feel like, is it John Boyega? Like, he's been spotted on the red carpet in his trad, looking like a sweet one, looking like a snack.
John Boyega don't play.
So we love that. And I hope to see that a bit more.
Fantastic. Now, over to Ghana, where there's a storm raging. A superstar rapper, Sarkodie, King Sarkodie, who, by the way, gave me an incredible interview out now on YouTube. Go check it out. Trending interview, fantastic.
I loved it. Well done for that, by the way. Like I messaged you, but I want to say, like on this platform, you do the damn thing. Like when it comes to interview, making your guests feel so welcome, so free to be themselves and to speak their mind. Not many interviewers have that ability. And you do it great. So
thank you. It's a celebration, man. You celebrate those people and you let them speak and talk. So make sure you check that out. So with Sarkodie allegedly using lyrics in a song he was featured on, claiming only poor men can be found in the kitchen cooking for their family. The lyrics, I believe, were preceded by others saying a rich man is too busy trying to find money for the family and cooking duties might be a step too far for him. Ooh. Now, industry colleague and superstar singer Sister Efia said she agreed with Sarkodie that a rich man is too busy looking for money to better his family's lives than being concerned with kitchen duties. She, however, said it's great for a man to help with household chores, but a rich brother in the kitchen is over a hot stove is a step too far. Come on, Norma. I thought you were, when I saw this story, I'm like, this is going to be good for you, man. So tell me, a rich man in the kitchen.
Oh, do you know what? I don't totally disagree with her. But at the same time, there's absolutely nothing wrong with a man being in the kitchen. Like I said, the previous episode, cook for me, daddy. Like,
listen. You people always, as a man, that's hustling.
Yes.
That's a rich guy, like they said. Most of the time you're out working.
No, you're not. Okay,
you're busy.
Oh, absolutely. Let me be like a bit more realistic.
Shout outs to the women. It's not like, but listen, we've got to be honest here.
No, do not. No, let me stop playing.
Everybody's starting to take this thing too far. Yeah, a rich man that's hustling, bringing in the millions.
Okay,
you want to see him in the kitchen?
Let's get
cooking.
Absolutely.
I'm busy, man. There's two sides to it.
Yeah. One, I completely agree. Like, if you're hustling, you're grinding, it takes a lot of work to become a millionaire.
Facts.
Or to become rich. whatever your standard is for
Yeah.
rich. But it also takes more effort to keep you at that level, to keep you as at the millionaire
So I'm
status,
constantly
billionaire
working.
status. So you constantly have to work. So
Hustling.
I completely understand. You know, it takes a lot of time. So
I'm
don't
not going to
expect
have
you
time
to
for the
be.
kitchen.
I don't expect you to be in the kitchen 24/7
Over
I
a
really,
hot
really
stove.
don't. Over a hot
Because of
stove.
equal opportunities.
Slaving away. So how about you go out, you work hard, sir, and when you come home, I will have a hot cooked meal for
That's
you.
what we're talking about.
Given you're providing everything, okay?
Oh, yeah,
But-
but what about the fact that it said only a rich guy he has time for the kitchen? Yeah, a poor guy. If you're not
But
rich, the
For
wife...
the brokies, get in the kitchen and be cooking. Let's stop playing, okay? But no. But you know what I wanted to say, right?
Yeah.
There's honestly like, okay, men, let me put you on game.
Yeah.
I swear to you, you don't have to cook every single day, but that one meal you cook maybe like once a week or once in 2 weeks, she's going to be thinking about you. Romance her small.
Okay.
Ask women want to be romanced just a little bit, even if it's like breakfast that you cook for her, right? Cook her breakfast.
What about if I
and
bring you
she
water
can-
from the fridge?
Do I eat water?
Orange juice.
Do I eat juice?
I brought you something. What about the biscuits in the drawers?
Okay. Let me put you on Game Shops, right? One
Yeah.
day, just cook a cheeky
Noodles,
English breakfast.
noodles
no,
and
hold on. Let me put you. Hold on.
boiled
Right,
egg.
wake up in the morning, make her an English breakfast. I swear to you, English
What-
breakfast is the easiest thing to
Okay,
make.
what-
a bit of
what-
egg,
yeah, what are
a
the
bit of
components?
toast,
Okay.
maybe some beans, just warm them up, bit of beans, maybe bacon if she eats bacon, and mushrooms, right? So simple, so easy. 10-15 minutes, you're going to be done. But I promise you, the rest of the day, she's going to be thinking, oh my God, my baby cooks for me. How romantic, how cute. And
That's a
just,
busy-
how about this? She will thank you later on in the evening. That's all I got to say.
It's busy.
Just
Man said-
I didn't say every day.
How
I'm saying,
about a cup
but
of tea?
no, but I'm talking about the regular man. Regular schmegular man.
Yeah. Who's
on a-
working 9
on
to
a- on
5?
a Sa- yeah, on a Saturday
Must be in the
morning.
kitchen.
No, yes, why not? Why not?
Yeah,
On a
well,
Saturday morning,
What a-
wake up,
Some guys are
just make her
better
something
chefs
nice.
as well.
Exactly. And some men love cooking.
Yeah,
Some men love
absolutely.
cooking.
I've got friends that are incredible. They're like
Or do you know what?
incredible
Sometimes
chefs.
make it an activity between the two of you, because I feel like it's a way to bond.
All right,
It's a way to get cheeky.
I can
play
come
about.
stand with you there.
Yeah,
and just,
you,
you know,
you
be
be
a
the
helping
sous
hand.
chef. Yeah, you be the
Yeah.
sous chef. She's the chef. Like, okay, I used to. I'm really putting my business out there.
Put
innit?
it
But
out there.
anyway.
Put it. You used to
So,
do that
like,
with your man.
Yeah, like me and my ex used to do it together. I'll
he
be
a
the
rich
main
guy?
chef. No,
He was a hustler.
yeah, he was a regular 9 to 5 worker.
That's
you know.
good.
I'll be the main chef. You be my sous chef. But again, it's just time for us to bond. If I've not seen you for let's say like a week, we bond. We cook together. We'll eat together. You know, it's just something for us to do together.
Okay.
If it means that I may not see
That
you again
sounds
for the
good.
next. Yeah.
That's not too much to ask.
You know, or maybe a cheeky dinner whilst both of you have a glass of wine. By the end of it, both of you are enjoying, you know. Put some music on. Shots is not buying it. Shots is not about this life. But, you know, I promise,
it's
please,
good. It works.
for
though.
any men that
I
are
know.
watching, right, please just try it. Cook for her breakfast if you can. If you can't do that, give her a helping hand and she's going to be happy with you.
Okay.
And she may thank you in other ways. Like,
so
you're also going to
she'll
be
thank-
pleased with.
So she'll thank you later. That's what you're saying.
Yeah,
later on.
she might.
Listen, if she's your wife,
Honestly,
she
like...
won't be thanking you anyway. You know what I mean?
Oh wow! Oh wow! Is that how you're getting it? Is that how you're getting it? Okay.
I'm just kidding.
No, but yeah, like women are simple, man. We just want the simple things.
Yeah,
That's
I
it.
hear you. Now over to
it.
the UK, where singer Raye broke her silence on Twitter, sharing the disappointment at being held back from releasing her debut album by her record label Polydor. Now the singer, clearly heartbroken, said she had folders of albums collecting dust and is forced to give away songs to other A-list artists at the moment. She said she had been in a 4-album deal with her label since 2014, releasing around 6 EPs, however, not a debut album. And the excuse for holding her back was that when they felt she was ready and the music was good enough, she will be given the green light for the album. The Brit Award nominee also said at one point that the album decision on how well one of her singles did in the charts, which left her apprehensive, checking the status and willing it to be a success. Now, she said she felt like she had no other choice than to put her frustrations out in the world, as the other means hadn't been fruitful so far. She received support on social media from colleagues like producer, singer Eminique, who said the singer was one of Britain's best, and there was no reason for her light being dimmed this way. This is not the first time we've heard artists complain about the record labels not putting out their albums and the frustration that goes on with it. It has to be said that, it looks like the lady Raye as well has gone on social media to talk about heartbreaks in the past with previous relationships where she was crying and all of that stuff. So she seems to be an emotional young lady. What are your thoughts about this decision to put this out in a business, dealing with a major label, by the way? And what are your thoughts?
I stand with her. I feel like at this point she feels like she has no other choice but to just somehow, you need to hear me. Because I've been pleading, I've been begging, I've been political about it. I've gone through the right channels. I've produced the music that you want me to and done the things that I need to do.
She's had charting singles. She's currently got 2 singles on the chart. One with David Guetta and another one with, she also wrote on Black is King album for Beyonce.
Wow.
Yeah, she's
talented
been
young woman.
She's been about. She is an incredibly gifted young woman.
I feel like labels really take the piss. Like, they take advantage of people so many times. And this is, like you said, this is not the first time that we're hearing of somebody being signed and then not being able to release music for a very long time. And I feel like at this point, there needs to be like a clause in contracts to say, okay, if I don't release an album within the next 3 years or 2 years, whatever you want, then you have to release me from this contract.
So that means people need to put those clauses in at the beginning of the...
But then...
to protect yourself.
Because one, it's a 4-album deal, right?
Yeah.
It's going to take at least 4 years to release those albums, unless you're going to release 4 albums in 1 year to try and escape.
It's going to take...
It's going to take like 5 years at least.
And she hasn't even dropped one yet.
So it's
and
like...
she's been signed since 2014.
You're holding me hostage. You're also holding my bag. Because if, let's say I was signed to somebody else, by this time I could have released an album. I could have done a tour.
She's done a tour in the past. She supported, she would have... She would have been on her third. She would have been on her 3rd album by now.
I could be literally selling out millions, making so much money, but because you're literally holding me hostage, I can't do this. So if you're not gonna hold your end of the deal, release me, free me, please.
Again, I think there's a lesson where you just spoke now, which is people need to ensure that when they're signing contracts at the beginning, they should put clauses into those contracts that favor the artist too.
Yes.
So a clause like, if I do sign a 4 or 5 album deal with you, however, you don't allow me release an album every year, then that's a breach of contract, and that should allow me to be free. So what happens is it puts pressure on the artist as well as the label to ensure that every 12 months I deliver a 10 to 12 track album that is put out and for us to push, promote, and try to make money from. Yeah. But if you're just going to sign a deal and sit down and allow the record labels to have the clauses in this world, then you will find yourself in situations like this, sadly. Once again...
Like what I was gonna say is that, and time is going. Like while she's sitting there waiting for
other
music
people
to be released.
That's why she said she felt like people were sleeping on her because she hadn't put out bodies of her full body of work yet.
And also another thing is as well, I'm thinking like, okay, she could have produced so much music in like 2019, between 2019 and 2020, let's just say. Between that time and now till maybe 2022 when she releases that music, it may be a little bit irrelevant by then because maybe that sound was hot in that moment. And but by the time it's 22, sounds change, things change. We move on to different things and different hypes and different sounds that we like. So by that time, she may need to produce a whole new album because what she had is no longer relevant. So I completely understand why she's frustrated.
Well, over to South Africa, where this past week saw the premiere of Babes Wodumo and her partner Mapincha's reality series release. Now, the couple who have caught the headlines in the past a couple of years for abuse allegations have been seen to stand with each other, and the reality series is one they claim will help people understand them and their relationship better. The couple split opinions on social medias, as some fans said they found exactly what they tuned in for in behind-the-scenes content, humor, and entertainment, whilst others found it difficult to watch, especially as the abuse story still rings front and center of their memories. The show, titled Utando Ludumo, is currently airing in South Africa at the moment, and the couple said it was an opportunity that they had to take to get closer to their fans, right the wrong perception of them in the public eye, and of course increase their popularity and the bag, perhaps. Babes Odumo and Mapicha, if you didn't know, had a back history relationship. They involved with each other. Babes is a superstar singer in South Africa. Mapicha is, DJ producer and record label executive of Babes' label. They were together, and an Instagram live video leaked a couple years ago that appeared to show him hitting his partner terribly at the time. They seem to have worked through their relationship. They're presenting it to everybody with this reality series, especially in a country like South Africa where domestic abuse is raging. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I understand where the division came from in terms of the viewers and them being kind of divided in their opinions and their support. I think because we literally saw them go through a crazy mess in their relationship, from the cheating scandals and allegations to the abuse. The main part of that is the abuse. So I think people just can't get over the fact that 1 minute you guys...
Can you? That was a question I wanted to ask.
Two parts for me. One is, I understand people change, so maybe he's learned from his past and he's grown and he's changed and he no longer does that. That's my hope for it. But the other part of it is that by taking him back, and because she's a public figure, a lot of young women look to her. She is an influencer in her own right.
Yes, she is.
And loads of young women and just older women look up to her. So absolutely. I feel like, you kind of normalize abuse in relationships.
But it's a big question.
And kind of not necessarily like making it okay, but the fact that now it feels as if some people may feel like they're being rewarded or he's being rewarded by getting a whole TV show. When we've seen you be abusive and display,
people would expect him to be cancelled. We
expect you to be cancelled and just put to the side. But we don't expect you to continue to thrive. We don't expect you to continue to be celebrated and given platforms to continue to shine when we've seen you behave badly. So I think that's why people are finding it very difficult to kind of be in support, knowing the past that they have.
Question to you. Behaved badly in the past, have put in work to transform their lives, have had visible changes now. Is that a good enough reason to be accepted back in, to be given a chance to continue your career? I just wanted to know, especially when it came to DV. We saw what happened with Chris Brown and Rihanna. 10 years on, 12 years on, we all believe that Chris Brown has moved on from that. You know? And it looks like the public, majority of the music-loving public have allowed him to carry on his life and to carry on making money. So is there an opportunity for other people to do that?
I mean, I guess so.
Rehabilitation?
See that, I feel like that's the part that's missing for me. Because I feel like there has been from what I know, there's been no actions taken by him to show like, I've changed, I recognize that my behavior was terrible. And because they are on such a public platform, and like you said, in South Africa, domestic violence is such a huge issue. So I feel like people's actions, particularly in the public and who are influencers, like you're setting an example. So that's my issue, is the fact that you are setting an example when you are a celebrity, when you're an influencer. But yeah, people do need to be forgiven. Given that he genuinely has changed,
trying to,
and he would never do it again, and
and
hasn't
he's
done it
making
again
public
to her.
efforts to right the wrong.
Yeah, so I feel like that's my thing.
That's what's missing.
Yeah, and also somehow I don't know if it's possible. What can you be some sort of like ambassador and speak out about these things about domestic violence and speak out against it, and also talk to other young men.
I think that should be part of the rehabilitation. If you're committed to saying that you're sorry, you want to change your life, then maybe you can help us recruit other young men to stop behaving that badly. So I agree with you. Now, staying in South Africa, where this past week has seen the increased lockdown measures due to the surge in the Delta variant, as the president has ordered a stop to social gatherings, sale of alcohol on site, no in-restaurant dining, and lots more. Now, superstar artist Ricky Rick said the president should turn to super spreaders generation into super vaxxers by using event promoters, event organizers, sports clubs, and concerts as a venue as an avenue to get people vaccinated en masse. He said these were the strategies that other countries had used and was wondering why the South African government wasn't taking this type of steps to increase vaccinations as well, getting the country back moving and into business. We saw during the England football match, there was a vaccination center right by the stadium.
Oh, great.
Where some people were getting vaccinations and going in to watch the game. So we saw in America, the Staples Center was used as a vaccination hub. We've seen it across different parts of the Western world. And I don't think what Ricky Rick said was ludicrous, crazy, or funny at all. I actually thought, if in Africa we had the leaders that will just take on board what the people say sometimes, they would find incredible ideas amongst the people. Yes, saying super spreaders and super vaxxers might be something that people will snarl or laugh at. However, there is a clear plan behind that. There is a clear thought process behind that. And I think it makes sense. What are your thoughts?
It does. It absolutely does. At the end of the day, what makes sense is that we save people's lives.
Facts.
And we move on from this craziness that we've been going through.
Yep.
So, yeah, if we can somehow find enjoyment in one, get vaccinated on another, it's a win-win.
Absolutely.
I get the best of both worlds.
Absolutely.
And I'm vaccinated. I protect myself. And by doing that, protect my family
Yes.
and my friends and the people I'm around. So, yeah, let's do it, man. Let's do it. So I completely agree with what he's saying.
Absolutely.
And you know what you just said about if only African leaders would take on board what the people are saying, man, we would be so far.
Yeah, just
we would be so
far,
man. if so many of them were not on a power trip.
Yeah.
To be like,
And
what?
not
You
the
think
people-
you know better than
Yeah,
me?
that the
You
people
think
in
you're
office
more educated
know.
than me? No,
Just
like
take on, listen to the people, man.
Yeah.
You will get incredible ideas from the public. They will convey to you the frustrations that they are genuinely feeling every single day, find you solutions to them, signpost you to how to handle these problems. However, we've got government officials in power with their heads in the clouds and look down on the people that they serve.
They do.
So they won't take that on.
I think that's the issue sometimes, like with prime ministers and presidents and any sort of government officials, they sometimes, like you said, live in a cloud.
Yeah.
You live in your own bubble where you forget, like, people are really going through these things.
It's a
For
hustle.
you're thinking, oh yeah, it's just a policy I'm signing, it's just some paperwork, blah blah blah.
But it affects
You're
individuals.
forgetting this affects millions of people every single day.
Facts.
The things you decide literally affects people's lives, and it's a
Facts.
matter of life and death.
Facts.
So, take it serious. And
Facts.
sometimes I feel like they're just so far removed
Yes.
from that life. They
Yeah.
forget what it's like to generally just be a normal civilian,
Absolutely.
living your life and just trying to make it like everybody else.
In a developing country too. They need to definitely think about that. Now, returning to Nigeria, where the talk over the last 2 weeks has been about sugar daddies and side chicks after a young lady alleged to have been a side chick to a billionaire, allegedly murdered a tycoon in cold blood, made away with millions of naira until she was caught and is now being prosecuted. Since the story broke, it has raised the debate about side chicks and men, the risks now involved in extramarital affairs, and so on. Recently, a TV broadcaster named Moriah Afolabi Brown posed a question during a TV program. if there was a way to normalize men having side chicks, and if there was such a thing as a respectful cheater. Norma, the African queen in the room, is there such a thing as a respectful cheater?
I just have one question for this woman. Auntie, what kind of question is that? Because...
No, she was... Okay, so first of all, the debate has been raging since this young lady, allegedly murdered her lover, billionaire, married man. And people said the reason why he had that relationship in secret was because having side chicks was probably frowned upon, and he wanted to do it in the dark corners of this world. That led to him passing. However, if it was a legalized situation and it was an open secret, he wouldn't have lost his life in a shifty apartment trying to get down with a 21-year-old girl who would come there allegedly to take advantage of him.
Maybe we need to go back to polygamy. Maybe we need to go back to that, because clearly people can't keep their stuff in their pants. Everybody just wants to be offing pants. Maybe we need to go back to the olden days where people could have several wives.
Yeah, but what about the women?
But also women are allowed to have several husbands.
That's the thing. If we're going back to that and we're talking about equality, then you should allow the women to choose as they please.
Yeah.
If the woman, is fit and able and wants to engage in having more than one man, if you're talking about polygamy, then it should go both ways.
Exactly, it should. But back to your question.
Respectful cheating.
Respectful cheating. Funny enough, I think there was a woman who went viral maybe last year where she was talking about she wants her man to cheat respectfully, where she said she doesn't expect him to be completely faithful when she knows that these things happen behind closed doors, but she just doesn't want to find out about it. She wants him to do it with respect.
So that's exactly what this broadcaster was saying.
Yeah, so that's what she was saying.
Yeah, so you agree with that?
Do I agree that it should be normalized? No.
But you'd rather not know.
But I just feel like respectful cheating in its own is an oxymoron. It's a contradiction that the two cannot coexist. Cheating, right? There's no respectful cheating. It's literally disrespect. How can you turn disrespect in and make it respectful? If I punched you, is there a way for me to punch you respectfully or with love?
Yeah, maybe you could just say, listen, I'd like to punch your face now.
I'm going to punch you, but respectfully. It doesn't make sense. So, yeah, I think there's definitely no way to do something like that respectfully.
And speaking about respectfully cheating, I wanted to say something. The health minister, obviously here, Matt Hancock, got caught, with cameras in his office where he was having a situation with his personal aide and whatever. He lost his job at the end of the day. He resigned, basically. But before then, there had been calls for him to be sacked by former advisor Dominic Cummings, who posted, WhatsApp conversations of the Prime Minister expressing that the then Minister for Health was incompetent. However, fast forward a couple of weeks after, here comes a video leaking showing him in his office engaging in whatever he was engaging in with this other lady. What were your thoughts about that? I thought it was a setup.
They definitely wanted him gone. They said you are out of here. We don't give a heck.
Which you've been doing has a camera in their office?
It's crazy. It's crazy. I mean,
that's a security breach.
Yeah,
breach.
No.
And then someone leaked that footage to the Sun newspaper.
They definitely wanted him gone. See the way he was grabbing the cheeks. Oh, that man was enjoying his life.
He's a young man.
He was enjoying his life. But can we just go back to this young woman? Yeah. I feel that's a horrendous situation to be in. I don't know why she killed that man. And, like you said, she was saying it's in self-defense.
That's...
But my thing is, it was a billionaire. Sis, you fumbled the bag. You fumbled the bag. I mean, unless it was genuinely self-defense and maybe she felt like she was in danger.
And she
but
looks
sis,
like
not only have you lost your man, your freedom.
She looks like a stunning young lady. She speaks well. She
21.
Yeah, she's very young. She's in university.
Young.
She's
a young babe.
Yeah, it's just one of those situations where it's a loss for everybody.
It's terrible.
Huge loss for the man's family.
I have a question.
Yes.
Do you feel like there is a way to respectfully cheat?
Like you said, there's, there's nothing, once those two words can't go together.
Yeah.
However, when men talk about respectfully cheating,
Tell me, what's the conversations like behind closed doors where the women are not listening?
What the men are saying is basically not putting in the face of their partners. That's
don't do it in my face.
So that's what they say, like, oh man, like he doesn't do it, you know, because there's some guys that you probably would know, that everybody knows, you know who his girlfriend or his wife is, but we know that he's here with this woman, there with that. He doesn't care.
He belongs to the streets.
Yeah, he's proper for the streets. There are people like that, you know. So when people would use the term respectfully cheating, men will usually mean that, oh, you're not trying to do it like public. You're not being flagrant, disrespectful, or just being like, yo, I'm a man, I'm the breadwinner, I'm this and that, I can do whatever I want.
So I'm going to do whatever I want.
Yes.
And you're just going to put up with it.
Yeah, because some people do have to put up with that.
Yeah, no, some women do.
Yeah.
But do you know what also I was thinking? Like, I feel like the older generation of women, so I was watching the clip of the women.
Stuff like this
and
better, right?
they seem like they're maybe in their late 40s, 50s.
Yeah.
And I feel like that generation kind of makes excuses for men. And they sometimes make way for men and want to make life easier for men.
Everybody does till now.
Well, yeah, till now. But I feel like we're trying to unlearn it. No. I'll be completely honest.
You can say it. Oh, we're trying to unlearn. We're trying to do this. We're this or that. When you're faced with a situation, like one woman in that video said, that you're faced with a situation where you've built with a man for 15, 20 years. You built a home, a family, you've got kids and whatever.
Yeah.
Now you're faced with a decision whether to throw him out because of a 21-year-old side chick who ultimately might end up inheriting all the stuff that you had built with your man. You know, there are decisions to make at that time. Yes.
So is it about the money?
It's about
beyond. Is it like the time that you spent?
Then it's about how you
together.
feel about your man. Like some people, I've heard some guys say they will not leave their woman for sleeping with another man.
Yeah.
And I've also heard women say the same thing.
I feel like men only leave when no one else knows. No,
Shame.
yeah. So
when
they
when the world knows,
when the world knows that
they be banging your girl.
But if no one knows, they are taking you back. Men are taking you back. They're going to be angry for a little bit, but they'll definitely take you back.
If the world knows.
If the world knows, it's like, it's the embarrassment for them.
Like,
it's a shame. Like, you brought shame to my head and you embarrassed me. But more time, men are actually forgiving, you know, they are.
That sounded like experience there.
No, I'm just saying from what I've heard. Don't do that.
From what I've heard.
The streets are saying that's what happens. But but like I was trying to say earlier, I feel like we are genuinely trying to unlearn what we've been taught by the patriarchy. We're trying to tear down the patriarchy.
Yeah, the patriarchy.
However, it's hard. It's hard. But when you've got the older generation, like these women saying, let's normalize conversations about maybe having side chicks and cheating respectfully. It's difficult to try and dismantle the patriarchy when you are almost supporting it and upholding, you know, all of these ideas that we've been taught to just keep up with, just put up with it. Like, oh yeah, that's what men do. That's just men will be men. And it's like, those are the kind of ideas that let men behave badly and get away with it. So back to, you know, we were talking about, what's his name? Mama Binja and Babes Wadumo. You know, it's those sort of ideas of men will be men and, oh, it's just part of being a wife, you know, if he hits you, you know, you just have to forgive him. It's part of being a man. I think it's those ideas that can be very dangerous.
And let people carry on
and let people continue with behavior that is disrespectful, that is very harmful to women. And essentially that is just not good for anybody, really. So, we do have to kind of unlearn it.
Facts.
And keep it pushing.
On that note, we end this week's episode of Adesope Live, the official Afrobeats podcast. Shout outs to the entire team, Afromedia Studios, Willio Studios, LM Media, I am Maurice, Shoops.com, and the delightful Norma of Dreams and Money Podcast. We're always going to have you again. I like this style that you've got going. Is this a shirt, skirt? What is it?
It's a dress. It's a dress.
This is a dress. I'm old.
It is. It's a shirt dress.
Oh,
It's
really?
long, yeah.
Okay.
It's not
so,
even it's like oversized.
so the people that sold it as a dress, basically.
Yeah, it's like an oversized kind of vibe. You know,
Oh.
I got my shorts on, I got my tee underneath, but it's more so supposed to be like big. You know, it's
kind
kind of
of
like
vibe.
like when you wake up and you borrow like your man's shirt
Yeah,
from work, and
so
it
it's
just
that-
looks
that
nice
feeling.
and big. That kind of vibe.
All right. Well, it looks good on you, by the way.
Thank you kindly.
So
Thank
yeah,
you.
make sure you subscribe, like, share, comment. We appreciate it. It keeps encouraging us to make videos like this and keeps us in the business. Until next time, it is same place, same time, and it's peace. We're out. Choo.
Right.